The culture of the 90s was neon and big and loud and hairspray.
We had actually been in this lawsuit with Honda over the idea of putting riders in gear.
No fear, man. That was rags to JCPenney's.
We wanted to destroy Fox, man.
That was kind of a lesson in how to do things fast and big and done.
The quintessential moment of the No Fear Fox war is Travis Pastrana at the X game.
I wouldn't have pulled him out if he wasn't in Fox.
Pete made some brilliant move. He kind of beat our ass, you know, said.
My name is Pete Fox.
My name is Jerome Maj.
My name is Kenny Safford.
And I helped.
And I helped
design the look of 90s motocross. So when the 90s rolled around, it's surf and, man, the bright colored shorts and mullets and beach volleyball and body glove wetsuits, that whole thing was like, man, we were so into that. That completely influenced what we were doing with motocross stuff.
I think that was a really important period in motocross gear design where there was a lot of innovation. Things were new, exciting, and changing a lot, and great personalities.
It was a very rich era in terms of bikes, riders, competition, gear designs, like really, really great years to be part of.
A great time for design, a great time for expansion, semi-vans and motocross, and making bikes work out of production bikes.
The sport was growing, supercross was exploding. You had freestyle with the X Games that became mainstream. Let's say it was fairly loose in terms of training and practicing.
It just seemed like a big giant party, so it was everything. It was the culture. It was the culture of the 90s was neon and big and loud and hairspray.
By the time you get into the 90s, AXO kind of took over.
I mean, AXO was killing it in the early 90s. They ruled the early 90s. They did it with innovation and newness and exciting stuff that totally transformed the sport.
For me in the 90s, I was a huge fan of Kenny Safford. I think all the AXO gear is just incredible.
We did things a little bit different. We color blocked a lot of things and made larger panels of colors and made things, you know, bigger on the shirt so there was different than the pants.
Early 90 AXO, crazy prints, to me is one of the coolest things ever in moto. Definitely a game changer and defining an era.
I don't know, maybe people gravitated towards what we were doing and the message we were doing and the colors in which we were used, but I think it was more than that. I think it was just the vibe of everything that was going on. That was AXO at that time. We had riders at our disposal. We had a guy, number 125. You might remember him, McGrath. We started with that guy, right? He had a tiny, tiny waist and giant legs. I mean, he was a rider, but he was also an entertainer. And, you know, he knew what the people wanted to see, and he knew what they wanted to see from him.
AXO absolutely dominated and changed the industry for a couple years, and then it was gone.
So in '94, AXO lost its lead designer, and things kind of started to crumble. You know, they lost the Pro Circuit team to Thor. Bradshaw had a meltdown. I mean, there was a lot of things that happened in a short period of time. After AXO kind of stumbled a little bit, Fox was there to pick up the pieces and run with it.
Pete has the best feeling for signing riders and for marketing. He's unbeatable. He's the best at putting good design with good marketing with a right team of riders and knowing which rider is important at which time.
We got McGrath into Fox because Honda was switching over to have the whole team in one set of gear. We had actually been in this almost a lawsuit with Honda over the idea of putting riders in gear. I think because we were the only gear brand that stood up to Honda, that they came around and said, hey, we want to work with you guys. It's kind of strange.
Jeremy was at the time redefining motocross in terms of marketing and supercross and the amount of winning he was doing. He was redefining motocross in terms of also riding techniques. Fox toward the mid-90s became so dominant. You know, I mean, to Fox and Chef, they had everything, all the best freestyle guys, all the best motocross guys.
I love the competition. The competition in motocross gear design has always inspired me and driven me.
Oh, we wanted to destroy Fox, man. We were going after those guys.
No Fear. They're a giant company, right? Why are they making motocross gear? Well, because it's cool. And they had a large kind of backing behind it and marketing, and it just seemed like a big giant party. So when No Fear came on in the late 90s, it was, I think, a breath of fresh air.
We were just trying to knock them down, so we were going for it. Yeah, we were taking big chances for sure.
When McGrath went to No Fear in '99, that was like a punch in the stomach.
I'm sure he was quite upset with No Fear because a lot of the top riders left, but I think the quintessential moment of the No Fear Fox war is Travis Pastrana at the X Games. Travis is still wearing Fox gear, but Jeff went and made a deal so the bike would have a No Fear graphic kit. That's the height of the war. That's as nasty as it got. That was just Jeff being, you know, kind of a prick, I guess.
Everybody loved working with Travis when we had Travis. We had Travis from when he was really young up until maybe the first couple of years of him being a pro. When Travis jumped into the Bay, '99 X Games, I wouldn't have pulled him out if he wasn't in Fox.
Riders were becoming more available and more vocal and more of a selling thing. So McGrath and Pastrana, you know, they went from Fox to No Fear. And No Fear was like, oh man, they are a behemoth. They made stuff that was different. It was linear and it was large and it was No Fear.
I worked for free the entire first year. Jeff never paid me. It didn't matter. I would have paid to design the gears that Jeremy would have worn. I mean, there's no way I was going to pass on that opportunity.
No Fear, man. That was rags to JCPenney's. They did it hard and they did it right and they did it everywhere, and then it kind of wasn't so cool anymore. That was kind of a lesson in how to do things fast and big and done.
I think we might have been on top in 99, 2000, 2001, but at the end of the day, Pete made some brilliant move, you know, in terms of marketing, in terms of riders. He kept the design really fresh and relevant. Kind of beat our ass, you know, sadly.
I mean, I'm super lucky in that I've got to design gear for some of the greatest riders of all time, right? There's only a couple of guys I can think of that I wish I could have designed gear for that I didn't.
It was a bunch of cool guys, really, with a lot of talent racing motocross, and he made it for a special era. As soon as Ricky arrived, it was pretty much over. The fun was gone.
You had personalities. There was a lot of interest to create personalities, so people did.
One of my philosophies is take the athlete and find out what makes him special and unique, his personality, and then amplify that.
When you design and you have such charismatic riders, I think in a way the design I did for No Fear embodied Jeremy's personality and Jeremy's way of riding. Fox, in the decade after that, their design kind of followed suit with the way RC was riding and winning.
Don't try to make them something that they're not, but if they're like super serious and super driven, then amplify that. If they're kind of wild and crazy, then amplify that.
I miss the 90s in respect to what we could do and the influence that we had with AXO, all the teams and all the people. I mean, Mitch was great to work with. He was so last minute that it made it like excitingly crazy.
The Jeremy, Amy years that turned into the Carmichael, Wyndham, Stewart years, those might have been the golden era, yes.
To recognize that you're in a golden era is like, I was always just looking into the future and like, what are we gonna do next? What kind of ideas can I come up with to reinvent all of this? I don't think anybody knows it's a golden era until it's over.